I was thinking about the various drills that are effective in helping a student to get an understanding of how a golf swing actually works. So I'm wondering, Dave, if you could explain that one drill that seems to be the best one you've ever found. It is, you call it whatever you call it, I think you call it turnaround drill. It's like a dance move, but how does it work? Tell us what it is, how does it work?
Well, we're talking about, we've looked at different names. We call it the Baryshnikov, we're kind of leaning toward the hurricane drill right now. And golly, the drill is absolutely amazing. I am learning so much from studying this drill being done by different people. I've learned more about our other drills and how people tend to want to fake them. I've learned about how people think they have control of their body and their swing, and they don't. And what has dawned on me from watching this drill is that people will go out and the first thing they do is put themselves into two triangles. They spread their feet and make a triangle with a base. They grab the golf club and make a triangle between the shoulders and the hands. Put themselves in two triangles, the most rigid geometric form that there is, and then wonder why they can't move. And one of the things that the hurricane drill does, it breaks the lower triangle and allows the body, the legs and the feet to move with dynamic momentum into the counterfall, and it actually encourages the lower body to function as the power source instead of the shoulders and arms, which is what everyone learned. Everybody across the board goes out and spreads their feet, plants their lower body in stone, so to speak, and then wonders why they develop a kill concept with their shoulders and arms. And they fail to realize that the application of power comes from the upper body, even though 90-something% of that energy goes to the ball. Part of it simultaneously goes back into the body, and anything that internalizes causes the path to shift. I mean, this is why great athletes from other sports don't easily make inroads into golf, because all of them are covered with muscle and leverage through their height usually, and their instinct when they get over a golf ball is to use that strength on the ball. And they fail to realize that part of that energy is going to the ball, part of it's going simultaneously into the body. Anything that goes back in causes a movement in the plane, which is going to require them to either compensate to hit it on line. If they fail to compensate, they're going to hit it 300 yards on top of somebody's house.
So what you're doing is, you called it the triangle, the two legs coming up to your waist. You're taking that triangle that supports them, you're taking that away in that drill.
We're actually breaking it.
We're breaking it down. So now they got to rotate, and they got to figure out where to put their feet. They got to figure out where the balance is going to be, and a lot of that's going to be unconscious. You have to feel it. You can't think it through.
Not only does the brain have to deal with the complexity of turning your back to the ball and having movement in your feet, we lose our visual contact with the ball,
Yes.
which it has become apparent to me watching this drill that the vision is one of the major cheater mechanisms in the body, in our ability to leave the ideal plane and find our way back to and still find our way back to the ball. You can go back, when you're in a normal stance, you can go back in 100 different planes and still get the club back on the ball. When you are doing the hurricane drill, not only does the brain have to get the feet in the right place, it has to put the arms in the perfect plane, has to put the club in the perfect plane, has to get the arms up at the right time. The arms have to drop coming down. When you're in that exercise, when you turn around and land on your front foot to make the delivery, if you put a page break where you try to re-engage your upper body and hunt that ball, it feels like a cold slap in the face.
Can't hit the ball either.
I mean, if you did put a page break in a hammer throw, you would seriously hurt yourself. Absolutely.
We had a man I became acquainted with years ago, Joe Zuyama. He was one of the first to throw a 105-mile-per-hour fastball, Detroit Tigers. And he told me the only way he was going to be able to throw a ball at 105 with control and hit that little box any corner he wants was to lose control. He had to let go, consciously not be thinking about it, and he would just fall down the mound. And he said, I obey the principles that you guys teach in gravity golf. He said, I'm doing the same thing. We called it something different, but exactly the same principles. So to gain control, he said, you had to lose control. And in that drill, I could see where you'd be losing control. You have no idea what's going on, but you feel for it, and you use the principles.
You go so out of control that in my understanding of how the brain works, you have to go to a totally different part of your brain than the part we think with to orchestrate that drill. You have to go to the cerebellum, the basal ganglia, the thalamus, the vestibular system, all the parts of your brain.
I knew that, by the way.
That
No, I didn't. Okay, go ahead.
you probably know as much about it as I do. But those are parts of the brain that control subconscious motor function, like learning to walk. I mean, a child, when he walks, is not cognitively thinking about where his feet go or thinking about the physics of walking, yet he has the capacity in his brain to orchestrate that motor control. And I've always believed that the ability to orchestrate those things in the walking process or in the process of a young person riding a bicycle is totally adaptable to the learning of perfect swing technique, of learning perfect pitching technique, hitting technique, serving a tennis ball, any sport where rotary motion is involved and counterfall is involved. All of those principles can be learned by feel through the subconscious mind. And that's what I am seeing happen in this drill. You can take a person out that does not even speak the same language you do, put him in that drill, and he'll start moving like Freddie Couples. It's phenomenal what it does.
I have an 11-year-old girl training with me right now for been about 8 months, and she does that drill better than anybody I know. And she always asks when she comes for her training session, can I do that thing we do, that dance move, that turnaround thing? Can we do that again right now? And she wants to do it first because she does it so well. But she doesn't know anything about golf. But the thing is, it sounds like to me, if I might summarize this, that drill, unconsciously, if you just do it and work with it, it will teach you a lot about the principles, how a golf swing works, without you even knowing what you're doing. Is that right?
It teaches you all the principles of how a golf swing works, whether you understand one bloody bit of it or not.
And you don't have to be there for them to get better at it. They can spend as much time as a person wants to spend on it, and they will get better and better and better at it until they're hitting it as good as if they didn't use it, the drill. I mean, they could hit it as well.
That's the interesting part about
Or
it.
even better.
It is training the timing and the sequencing and the dynamics of the finished golf swing without being in that mode, without being in the finished product mode. And that the normal golf swing is the easiest mode from which you can compensate improper technique. So trying, if I had to start my teaching career over and somebody told me you can only teach people out of a normal swing mode, you can't use any of the exercises, I would say, forget it. Trying to communicate to someone how to move all of their body parts
Very tough.
like Freddie Couples moves, when you have the majority of 640 muscle groups having to work in perfect concert, that's something that has to be handled by part of the brain that can deal with complex motor functions that cannot be run through the cognitive brain.
It has to do with how does a golf swing actually work?
That's one thing that's never been done in the game, is to identify what a technically perfect swing consists of. That's the reason that people have argued over the golf swing for more than 500 years, is because a baseline for proper technique has never been established in the history of the game. It's been an argument for half a millennium on who has the best technique.
50 different opinions.
So,
Doesn't help you
I
any.
mean, it's, it's a very, very interesting study, and this new exercise is, I'm 72 years old. This is the first time that I've been excited about a new exercise in years and years and years.
Well, the other ones aren't bad either. You hear that, Mr. Yoda?
What do you think, pal?
I think it was a great idea.
You like the new
But-
one, huh?
The cross-footed, the heel-to-heel weight transfer drill, a couple of drills that we use, they're all very powerful. This is just the latest in a series. They all work very well. For putting, chipping, full swing, it doesn't matter. It works for all.
All the drills that we've developed over the years, some, are good. Some of them are better than others. We have some very, very fine drills that we still use, but the search forever has been in trying to find drills that people couldn't fake. In other
Yes,
words, they could not get the club successfully on the ball without the technique being ideal from both a physics and a physiological perspective. So this is one of the hardest drills to fake that I've ever come across. And what's interesting about it, it's easy on the body. It's not, a lot of our drills have been physically very stressful, because that's one of the ways you can create change in motor program, is by putting the body under various types of threats. But this drill, golly, the things that are going on in this drill, I wish I could fully explain them. I'm very anxious to get this drill in front of a number of different neuroscientists to see if they can give me some insight into what's actually happening, so that I understand it better.
Well, when you got guys, Olympic gold medalists, whom we've discussed this before, hammer throw, discus, when you got those guys making a very specific feet movement, which ends with rotating fast and throwing that thing, how can you have control with all that going on? And yet they do, and they throw the farthest they've ever thrown before. So for a golfer to make the turn, 1, 2, 3 turn, hit, is not asking that much, but it does a world of good, and it teaches them the principle.
When you're turning around 5 times doing a hammer throw,
5 times, yeah.
swinging that much weight, you probably could not be consciously thinking about the position of your hands as you're going around like golfers do.
They go where they go.
They go where they go. And that's exactly what happens in this hurricane drill, is that the hands in the club go to for you to hit the ball successfully, the brain figures out where the hands and the arms and club need to go to hit the ball perfectly, and it makes you go to the plane that's ideal for your physiology. How it knows how to do it, I have no earthly clue.
I know as a PGA golf professional, I went, and I'm not mentioning names, but over the years, I went to 3 of the top teachers in the world, and they were telling me positions I need to hit, things I need to do, and I always sensed there was something missing in all that discussion, ideology, and everybody had different opinions. But in this, you will do what our tagline says. It says, feel the freedom. Well, you feel the freedom because you're not worried about where you're going. You just know that when you're doing these drills, you're going to end up hitting where you need to be in your swing plane and everything. It's all going to work itself out, and you don't even know where you're at. That little 11-year-old girl I was telling you about was just hitting it hard. She has no idea. I've never showed her on camera. She has no idea what her swing looks like. It goes where it wants to go. But the ball's going where it should go, and it goes there every time. She's about ready to go play golf. And so, I mean, that drill has really helped her significantly. And Jonathan, the other one I was telling you about, that drill, he has trouble doing it because he does have a tendency to not let the club dead fall, as we've talked about. He does that hurricane drill thing, he starts seeing it. He got it. He was embarrassed and a little humiliated, even though he's hitting it really good, winning tournaments and playing really good golf. He knows he can get better. And he's having trouble with it.
Exactly. That's what the drill is telling you, is that there's room in your technique for improvement.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
And some of these guys I see, even in my fellow PGA guys on the tour, a lot of times they have a bad day, they can't figure out their swing, they're running back to some coach to try to figure it out, and they're getting all these different ideas going. I'm trying to find something, they will say. I'm trying to find something that will work today. Really? Why don't you understand how a golf swing works first? And I think that drill would help them tremendously.
People attack learning this game like trying to put a Tupperware lid on a container that's too small.
It just doesn't work.
You push it down on one side and it pops up on the
I've
other.
done that one. I've done that one.
And people spend their entire lives going round and around like the water swirling in the toilet, trying to figure out, how to get all of their parts working in perfect sync. I honestly believe that this exercise will teach you how to own the equilibrium in your golf swing and to keep yourself in perfect
Balance.
And that's the term that we use, I think, that is the incorrect term in golf. Is balance can be viewed as a static balance,
Right,
like a statue standing there, or it can be viewed as a state of rotary equilibrium where we're having to perfectly balance the pulling forces that go against the body from the arms and club as they swing in front of us with the counterfall, so that we wind up with a net appearance of balance as we swing.
It's balance
It's
in
like
motion.
balance in motion. Just like when you spin a top, the top can be spinning like crazy, but standing still right in the same place.
Yep.
So that's the way the golf swing should ideally function, is in a state of rotary equilibrium.
I agree. Well, I know when I first started doing drills that you gave me 5 years ago, I was ready to quit the game. I could not do the cross-footed drill at all. I topped it, shanked it, totally embarrassed. After playing golf for, at that point, 48 years, I'm sitting there going, okay, now I'm really done. I thought I was going to be done. Now I'm really done. I can't play. Of course, you encouraged me not to give up, not to be ADDH, and just keep going. But after that first full day, I started feeling hips coming alive. I started feeling from the ground up. I started feeling letting go up here, just relax a little bit. And then now we're 5 years later, I feel like, not only feel like, I know that I'm playing the best golf of my life. And I just turned 60. So, give me a break. I'm hitting it better. I feel like I can accomplish anything I set my mind to, and which I'm working on. Stay tuned.
Well, it's possible to teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, and you're older than me, but I'm still getting up there.
What do you think, Yoda? It's a miracle.
Believe it, I do.